The whole world wants to trade Donovan Mitchell off the Cavaliers, except Donovan. He has said nothing, which is really weird in this era of James Harden trade demands, but look at what happened last time he got traded. The Jazz lost in the first round of the Mavericks without Luka for games 1, 2, and 3. So Utah just blew it up, traded their best defender, Royce O'Neal, for a draft pick, dealt Rudy Gobert also for basically a bunch of picks. So did Donovan say, "Why am I even here? Trade me"? No. He stayed silent and started preparing to stay on the Jazz. But if he did have a trade demand list, the Knicks would have been number one. He grew up near New York. They had all the assets to get him, and everyone thought it was a foregone conclusion. But at the last minute, the Cavaliers swooped in to get him. Most stars would be so pissed. In fact, people were waiting to see how upset Spida was. But this is what he said the day after.
Nobody would blame you wanting to be back home. I mean, I think you built a home in Connecticut. I mean, that's your permanent home. So I don't anybody to blame you.
No, not at all. Like you said, it wasn't so much as a rumor. It was more like, all right, like this will just happen. It's just a matter of when. Probably what's going to be, and it didn't happen. And, you know, God has a plan for everything. And like I said, when I found out I was traded here, I was, I was very excited.
I love Donovan Mitchell. He goes out of his way to make sure there was no drama for his new teammates. But things have not worked out. But first, today's video is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy, who, by the way, have in-game picks, so you can play pick 'em like during a game. They have live projections. If you're not doing this, you're missing out. I just won the other day. But pick 'em is a game where you pick higher or lower on your favorite players, and you can up to 20x your money in a single night. We have like a full slate of games tonight, so I want to give you my two picks. First up is Jakob Poeltl. His rebounds, we're gonna go higher than 7.5. I think he's gonna have to play a ton of minutes here facing Nikola Jokic. Then James Harden, his points, I'm going higher. Paul George isn't feeling well. Plus, I am definitely going to want to watch this game and have a pick on it. And best of luck if you're tailing those. Obviously, it's at your own risk. But check out this map to see if Underdog is available in your area. And always use the promo code AMHOOPS. You can double your deposit up to $100. And it really, really helps out the channel. So thanks again to Underdog. Again, promo code AMHOOPS. The Cavaliers had traded Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, Ochai Agbaji, 3 picks and 2 swaps for Spida. Why so much? Because they thought they were right there. Darius Garland had finally broke out as an all-star. They dealt for Karis LeVert and Jarrett Allen. Then they hit on the number 3 pick, Evan Mobley, who was almost Rookie of the Year. Donovan was supposed to be that final piece to make them a contender. But last year, they lost to the Knicks in 5 games with home court in the first round. It turns out Donovan and Garland don't really gel with similar skill sets. Mobley has not taken the next leap. He was supposed to be a Chet Holmgren type 7-footer to stretch the floor, but he can't shoot. That means playing him with Jarrett Allen does not work. Look, Mobley is just 22 years old. He may develop in the future, but for their timeline, it's off. So this summer, the Cavs went to Donovan with a contract extension to stay, but he turned it down. He can make more money next offseason, but rumors say he is not staying in Cleveland. Which is horrible because they gave up so much to get him. They can't lose him for nothing. They must trade him to recoup some of what they lost. But maybe they can convince him to stay by winning. Preseason, The Ringer had them 1 spot ahead of the Thunder. 3 of 6 CBS experts said Cleveland was a 3 seed. One of them said 2 seed. But after a slow start, Garland and Mobley are out for months with surgery. So the media is trying to trade him again. It only makes sense. But Donovan shut down their questions in the locker room. You've had career highs in points and assists without Darius Garland on the floor. What are you trying to say? Well, I mean, maybe you're a talented group who doesn't quite fit. Look, my job is to focus on this. We've got 2 guys that are out, so I am not answering anything. And no disrespect, I appreciate you have to ask that question, but I am not going there with any of these questions. I love that from Donovan. When other players are like blowing up their own locker room demanding trades, Spida is a true professional. But it doesn't change the fact that he will get traded. And it could happen as soon as 3 months from now. I think if the Cavaliers lose a bunch of games without Garland and Mobley, they will move him at the deadline. One reason? They could tank for a high draft pick. It turns out the 2024 draft is the last time they have their own pick for 7 years. The Jazz have control of their picks from 2025 to 2029. So the Cavs have this one last chance to tank and actually pick high. But that also means whatever they get back in a trade must keep them competitive. It makes no sense to suck because that will only help the Jazz. So what teams can realistically trade for Donovan Mitchell? Well, the number one factor is who can keep him, because Donovan's a free agent after next season. So whoever gets him needs to know he will re-sign. And that gives us 4 teams. The first 2 are the Knicks and the Nets, because he wants to stay close to home. The next 2 are the Heat, with a chance to win a title, and a mystery team I will reveal later. Brian Windhorst accidentally let this slip, and it's amazing. So the Knicks' best offer is Donovan Mitchell for RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, and 3 first-round picks. This lowers the Cavs' talent, but I think RJ is a better fit next to Garland because he needs the ball less, and they get a solid backup point guard in Quickley. But the Cavs don't accept this trade. New York needs to involve a third team. What about Donovan Mitchell and Ricky Rubio for salary? The Cavs get RJ Barrett and OG Anunoby. The Raptors get Evan Fournier and Sam Merrill for salary, Quentin Grimes, and those 3 first-round picks. This keeps the Cavs competitive and improves them on defense. The Raptors move OG because they get 3 picks and Grimes, who is a good young shooter next to Scotty Barnes. But I think the other New York team has a much better chance. The Nets get Spida and Isaac Okoro for Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Thomas, and 2 first-round picks. People need to know how good of an offer this is. The Cavs get 3 win-now players and 2 of the most valuable picks in the NBA. The Mavs and Suns could suck in 2029, so they are high in the draft. But the Nets do this to get a star player to pair with Mikal Bridges, and they're one of the few teams who can actually get a 3rd star with cap space. The 3rd team is the Miami Heat. Spida fixes some of their offensive issues, and the Heat make up for his bad defense with Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, and others. This could finally be what they need to make the finals and actually win it. So the Heat get Donovan Mitchell, the Cavs get Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, and a first. Now for many Heat fans, as soon as I said Jaime, they said no, he is untouchable. And if that's the case, their other offer would be Donovan Mitchell for Tyler Hero, Nikola Jovic, Caleb Martin, and 2 firsts. Now, I don't think Cleveland jumps at this, but they have to at least consider it. The Cavs get a team defender in Hero, who can also work off of Darius Garland. The Heat finally have that star who can score next to Jimmy Butler and is also clutch in the playoffs. But the mystery team is in the Southwest Division. Wendy said it is either the Mavs, Pels, Rockets, Grizz, or Spurs. And who has the assets and a chance to win? It's obvious. The Pels. They are a sleeping giant. With the right trade, easily a legit contender. So Donovan Mitchell and Rubio for salary, for Brandon Ingram and Trey Murphy. And I see why Wendy didn't want to mention this, because it would have broke the internet. But it makes so much sense. Zion and B.I. are not a perfect fit together. So you swap Ingram with an elite backcourt player in Spida Mitchell. Cavs also get a great young player in Trey Murphy, which is huge. If Zion stays healthy and Nola plays enough defense, they're a dark horse West Finals team with this deal. But the Warriors need a trade too. Draymond's gonna be out at least 3 weeks. And I made a sarcastic video about how Dre is mentally ill, and at least half the people who watched it didn't even understand I was joking. Please watch this video and tell me in the comments if you can tell I'm being sarcastic.